So Eve has been on my case since last night to do a video on aging. So I guess this is as good a time as any. Uh, so let's get started. Yes, we will open with the time honored tradition of speakers with a joke. Now, this one will often, well, occasionally, when someone asks her her age, comma, she will answer, I am the same age as you. I am eternal. And she thinks this is quite funny. However, there is truth in that all of you, all of consciousness is eternal. And the years that you count are, once again, arbitrary. Well, you count them according to the movement of the planets and the suns, but nonetheless, it is arbitrary. So, when we had a question about aging, we have an answer that you will not be at all surprised about. And that is that what comes with aging in your physical reality that you are now uh, experiencing will differ for each and every one of you. There are as many different ways to age as there are people. Now, once again, your expectations and belief systems will come into play. There are those of you who uh, only have a desire for a short amount of experience in this physical reality, and you will leave at a quite young age, some very shortly after birth, some even before birth, while they are still in utero. Others will live to beyond 100 of your Earth years. And everyone will encounter different experiences in terms of their health, their well being, their mental capacity. Now, the one that asked this question said that she is more and more in the now as she ages. This is very good. And we would hope this would continue for her because this will assist her when she makes her transition. A large part of what you are learning on Earth has to do with this concept of being in the now, which is in some degrees synchronistic with being in simultaneous time. Now, you can see when you look at people around you who are aging, the great variety of illnesses, level of activity, etc., that occurs. And so, it is not that there is any one thing that must come with aging. Uh, there are those who specialize, shall we say, in treating the aged. And they believe that this particular thing will come to pass or that particular thing will come to pass. But as you know, that's not necessarily true. Much of what you experience as you age has to do with your belief systems. You can point to different things and say, well, I'm experiencing arthritis because I'm of a certain age and I overdid it, or my nutrition was not good, etc., etc. But none of this is, in fact, true. It will appear to be true to you because you are still focused in the physical and still have beliefs that things are independent of you, that there is a reality that is objective and independent of you. And this is just simply not true. It will benefit you greatly, all of you, as you age, to begin to understand this and to change your patterns of speech, to change your belief systems, to be more in line with what is true. Now, along with this concept of aging, we would like to speak a small amount about what you call dementia or Alzheimer's disease. And many are trying to treat it with drugs now, to say, well, again, this is something that is external and is affecting the brain or the nervous system or whatever. And so we will throw drugs at it, which seems to be a human desire since the beginning of time, a way to approach anything that seems in the least bit abnormal. And you might say, well, they didn't have drugs back in whatever. But they did have herbs, and they did treat things with herbs. So, in a sense, that's the same. Most of your drugs come from herbs to begin with, or are patterned after herbs. But we say to you that for the most part, for the vast majority of people, when they are experiencing forms of dementia, this has to do more with preparing to leave. In other words, they are separating themselves from the physical slowly and experimenting in other realms of existence. This way, when their final transition occurs, they will be more comfortable, you see? So we go back once again to the idea that it is different for everyone. And this is also true of animals, what you consider to be pets or farm animals or zoo animals, that many of them will experience a variety in the way that they pass. Again, they will not pass judgment on it. They will not say, oh, this animal's cognitive facilities are becoming less and less, and therefore it's not a good animal, or we should put it out of its misery, or whatever. You don't know that this animal is in misery. Again, you're placing judgment, you see. You don't do this with minerals or rocks or insects, and yet they too will experience a certain amount of separation from the physical as it becomes close for them, for the time for them to pass. This is also true of other humanoid forms and of different forms of life, physical life, physical life. You see, this does not occur after one passes and is perceiving an energetic life. Now, we know that this is extremely short, but there is very little to say that we have not already addressed. Again, we point you to understanding that individually you are creating your reality, that depending on which physical existence you are focused on, and with whom you are communicating closely, in other words, past lives, other selves, etc. Because, as we have said, you are communicating with all consciousness at all times. But you will feel the effects of some of them, and you will send out your messages to some of them to a larger extent. So, some of what you may be experiencing as you age may be to assist these others, or may be because you are receiving messages from these others. And this is fine. You see, this is fine. This is the way you have chosen to have your experiences, and there is no judgment placed upon it. So again, we say this is very short, but there's not more to say about it. Again, if you have additional questions, please send them to this one, and we will respond at a later date. We wish you a fond good evening. Okay.